Excited to hear what you have to say because especially this Mother Righteous stuff and what we learn, like who she quote really is, I guess. Like,
I just am so confused. Lauren, help me.
am I your only hope?
Help me, Lauren. One Kenobi. You're my only hope.
I'm gonna keep that soundbite, Lisa.
You can have
That's
it.
one of the best things ever.
That was my gift to you. And my
Thank
gift
you.
to everyone else is this phenomenal podcast called Simply Amazing.
Yes.
Hello, welcome back. Me and Lauren have myself, Lisa, of course, and of course there's Lauren there. We have put ourselves through the ringer this week at your request. I want to remind everyone.
Thank you. At their request, at y'all's request, I am pulling the y'alls out because I just I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with these 3 issues. Like, I'm not even like mad as in like, oh my God, this is so terrible. And here's my 200 reasons why. I'm not excited. I'm just, what do I do?
I'm just confused. Okay, I got through these 3 issues and literally by the end of it, I was like, that meant nothing. Like, I just I don't get it. I don't know. I'm going to start and so we're talking about Nightcrawlers. You guys, said you wanted us to cover, you said we should cover it. So we're covering it and we love you all. So that's what we do for you.
I have to know if anybody decides they want to tell us, like, why did you want us to read this so bad? Like, was it because you all were confused as well and you're like, maybe they can translate for us? If so, I'm gonna give you a spoiler already. No can do for me at very least. I got nothing to translate. But also if it's not that, then you guys must just enjoy our misery and I can respect that. So I accept that one.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, we love you, so we'll do it. And it looks, I have a poll up right now that by the time this comes out, we'll have ended and we'll have an answer. But according to the poll right now, it looks like I'm going to be reading the Draco on Twitch with everybody. So
let's go! Story time of the Draco. We're all bringing the alcohol, the tears, whatever you want to bring.
Yep. So that's going to be fun. That might be my very first Twitch stream I ever do on my new Twitch channel that I'm doing. But yeah, take a look we'll post it on Twitter when that happens. But let's talk about Nightcrawlers. So basically we're not gonna go page by page. The story is it's the 3 issues take place in 3 different times, which again was like, what? It takes place 10 years after, 100 years after, and 1,000 years after, which echoes what happened in Dawn of X or House of X. The 2 of them, they're interchangeable, but whatever. Right. The House of X, Dawn of X, those 2 series, like that was the same thing. They did the 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. And I'm going to say it. I don't know if it's intentional or not, but there are so many nods or throwbacks or just straight up taking of other comic stories and comic ideas. Like, for example, the thing from like the Dawn of X thing, which maybe that was intentional. It's like harkening back to the beginning of the Krakoa era. Sure. But other things, I'm just like, I've seen this before. It's what's going on. So yeah, well, getting into it, we start with the Nightcrawlers are a team that's assembled by Sinister to do, I guess, whatever he wants them to do. They're just chimeras of Nightcrawler and whoever else. And like the main one is Wagnerine, which I hate that name. But Wagnerine
there were other choices, I feel like. Like, even if they weren't like still fantastic choices, there were other choices that weren't that.
Yes.
And it's even worse because it's like, how do you want to say it? Do you say it with the German pronunciation of his last name? Or do you just say it Wagnerine? Like, neither one sounds good. It's painful either way.
It's weird. It's just yeah, it's very weird. It's very awkward. Um but yeah, but I want to point out in the very beginning the different chimeras because I kind of love some of the choices and I'm very confused about some of the choices. Cuz it seems like it starts out with literally a chimera brotherhood, like the OG brotherhood, except for
Mhm.
Blob. I guess they can't make Kurt fat, so no Blob. But I mean, you've got Toad, you've got Sabretooth, you've got Pyro, then Spider-Man and Domino, and the X-23 or Wolverine or however you call her these days.
She's
Yeah, and
Wolverine, yes.
yeah, there's something about Banshee, and Banshee shares his mind with somebody. I have no idea what that's about.
I Again, I don't know what's happening in any of this. Like, you already understand more than I do. Like,
Yeah,
it's just I feel like the chimeras and all this with the Nightcrawlers, I feel like this was supposed to be really fun. Because kind of like you said, like, once we get to the end of the three issues, it's just kind of like, what, like, there's one thing that it possibly sets up that it does carry over to these, current issues now after the event, but past that, it was just like, what the hell was this? But that's my problem, is that even if most of this is pointless except for that one plot point and personnel continue, and then also just as fun, I didn't even have fun. Like, the chimeras, I didn't even get to enjoy them, like, because of all this other craziness going on that just completely took away from at least the fun piece, you know what I mean?
totally agree. Totally. It it's just I don't again, I'm just so perplexed by what is happening in these pages and you know, so the one thing I did appreciate was they called Kurt's bloodline one of the most dangerous bloodlines, which is like, yes, he can be dangerous. Don't ever underestimate our boy because he can be dangerous. Um, but I'm looking at like I actually took notes on this because I need to remember to say this because I was just so confused as I'm going through it. I'm like, I will not remember this in 3 pages because there's so much happening. But the basic story is the first issue is all about the Nightcrawlers have now because they have Kurt's spark, which I don't agree with this. Because they were made of Kurt, they have the spark or his faith in them, and therefore they can reprogram themselves from Sinister's programming, and then they end up following Mother Righteous. Now, here's my whole thing about that. Kurt's a great guy, but like if we're talking like DNA and what's transferred down, like his bloodline ain't that faithful. Like, you know what I mean? Like if we're going with basic
Mhm.
canon as it is now, his parents are Azazel and Mystique. Like why you know what I mean? It's like this is one of those nature versus nurture things where it's like he is who he is, not like in spite of his DNA, not because of his DNA. So that I didn't
True.
like.
I mean, I agree with that because, see, I didn't even get that part. Like, I didn't even get that far. Like, in terms of
Oh,
like
shit.
what's I knew they had his spark, but I didn't get the whole, like, it was like this, and see, you're already translating for me. But like, I completely agree, and I also hate that because it, to me, says that Spurrier further does not understand Kurt's character, because it takes away from what makes Kurt an individual. Like you said, that's not something that's in his DNA. It's in Kurt. And the only way others get that from Kurt, and the only way the spark is spark, which I'm still not completely on board with, but whatever. The only way the spark can be transferred and somebody else can gain, quote, that spark, is through nurture, is through teaching it. That's what Kurt wanted to do. He wanted to be able to share spark with other people. And he didn't mean it literally, and let me go fuck a bunch of people, impregnate them, let them have my kids with my DNA, and all of a sudden they have my spark. Or like, let me get cloned. Like, that's nowhere near what any of his thoughts were. And I'm very thankful for that, at least. But like, that doesn't work here. I think they were stretching for a plot line, and it all goes back to Mother Righteous. That's the whole point of these three issues, is Mother Righteous,
Yes.
and apparently breaking down Kurt enough so that hopefully you've listened to our Sons of X episode by now. If you haven't, go listen to that because here's a spoiler. But Kurt leaves the X-Men, so these three issues in general to me serve two purposes: to accelerate Mother Righteous because she continues wreaking havoc and Mortal X-Men and all these other things, so she's still current. And also to get Kurt further, or get Kurt closer to leaving the X-Men, right? So it was to accelerate that plot, which I think that's also why this doesn't read well, is because everything that is happening only serves a purpose to accelerate something else that must happen in the future. It is not doing anything authentic or genuine for what's happening in the current time. So, like, can we not? Like, can
No,
we just.
totally. I just want to go back to one thing that you said earlier about him sharing his spark. And
Yeah.
I think I have a t-shirt idea. It's like, hey girl, let me see your spark.
Let me see your spark. And then you just put like Kurt's tail on it and you put a little
That's it.
spark at the end of it.
Let me see your spark. Um, yeah, it's so that's the first issue is just breaking away from Sinister and following Mother Righteous. And then the second issue is now 100 years from it's 100 years later or something. And here's where it starts to get fucking weird. So I had this same problem when it came to the movie Avatar. Clones don't clones can't breed. It's just a thing. It's just a thing in sci-fi. I mean, some clones can, but like for the most part, especially like I don't get it. I don't understand why did James Cameron decide to make the avatars able to breed, or not James Cameron, like why the people who run that can't get over that. I'm sorry. I'm stuck on blue people. But in this one, so basically the way they explain it is like Wagnerine has a baby, and first of all, she has a baby with another Nightcrawler, which is like incest.
Yes, it is.
Like why are they fucking? They shouldn't be fucking each other. There are more than just Nightcrawlers in this world. They can go fuck other people. They don't have to fuck their brothers and sisters. Okay. So
That's just some Game of Thrones shit. And that's also ridiculous. And I don't like.
yeah.
Continue with this plot because I don't like it.
Okay. So basically it's like this child is like a miracle birth because like Wagnerine for some okay. So the clones are not able to breed, right? They're sterile, or their clones sterile. Like that was Sinister's intention, was they were sterile. However, Wagnerine was able to regrow her, I guess, whatever parts that I don't see. This is the thing. The science brain of mine is not making it make sense because so the thing about Wolverine's power is that he loses a finger, he grows back the finger. But if he never had the freaking finger to begin with, he can't grow it back. So like
Right.
if Wagnerine was created without, let's say, like without ovaries or without like her reproductive system, whatever, then she can't just grow it back because it never
Right.
existed.
Right.
That's one thing. And second thing, she said that they were all made infertile. So like how did the Cyclops one impregnate her?
Yeah, I got nothing. I think in general, all this, like you mentioned earlier, with the difference in years, like the time jump 10 to 100 to 1,000 and how it relates to House of X powers at 10. And so here's the thing. People keep trying to homage what Hickman did to start the Krakoa era and what he's done in it, right? But here's the thing. They're not doing it super well. And I think Kieran Gillen wrote Sins of Sinister, so not trying to trash Kieran. I know you listen, Gillen. Listen,
Big fan.
nothing against you personally, but here's the thing. You basically, he got the opportunity and one issue to try to homage what Hickman did in like 12 issues, essentially, I think, 6 and 6. And then it's carried in this big hardcover that I own, and I adore it. But here's the thing. He had that many issues to flesh it out. Now, Sins of Sinister is a oversized issue, I believe. And then this issue, these issues, you obviously have 3, but that's nothing. Oh, and actually, again, we're talking about Nightcrawlers, not Sinister. I'm so sorry. Cy Spurrier did this. So, yeah. Sorry, Gillen. Didn't mean to call you out of nowhere. But, like, it just doesn't work. You have 3 issues. You're trying to homage this. And it's again, you're trying to do that to make something for the future, whereas the House of X Powers of 10 also worked better because it had this many issues. It was written differently, of course, right? And also because like he was writing something that was affecting in that moment. He wasn't writing House of X Powers of 10 to prepare for something bigger coming. That was what was happening. Like it's such a waste. And with this pregnancy weirdness with Wagnerine, again, it's just another weird plot point to throw in there because, oh, crud, we made him infertile. All right, well, we got to do something to accelerate this. Okay, do that. That works.
I think you're right about like because it's so few issues, it's hard to really, it's hard to flesh out enough to make anyone really care, because I don't know these characters enough to really give a shit about them. It was like
Mhm.
we were introduced to these chimeras. It's like I don't like I love Nightcrawler, but I don't really care about all these like chimeras because I mean, first of all, like my girl, my number one is like the main derivative of Nightcrawler, and like now I got to deal with all these other ones. I don't know. No, I don't need. We don't need any stepchildren or whatever. None
Well,
of
and
that.
like, I mean, I'm totally with you on that because here's the thing: if we're already talking about other Nightcrawlers, why the hell can't they think to mention Nocturne? Why the hell can't they think to have Mr. Sinister go? Oh yeah, he did have that one kid in our universe, and oh, is a Scarlet Witch? That DNA is something I want. I'm gonna go grab that DNA. Like, not saying I want
I
him to mess with
mean,
Nocturne, but I mean, that's more interesting.
no, I mean, let me tell you, if Sinister, okay, so Sinister now has shown that he is very interested in Wagner DNA. If he knew there was a fucking half Wagner, half Maximoff running around there, I mean, why would he not be like, I want that immediately? I need
I
that
mean,
in my life right
yeah,
now.
that's the gold mine apparently. Like imagine having, DNA with Kurt and all that and even Mystique down the bloodline and such, and then you also have Scarlet Witch. I mean,
It's
that
and
that
Magneto, and like in Magneto in the
yeah.
canon that I believe in.
Yeah, I mean that is incredibly huge. So, yeah, I
Which,
think it's a waste.
yes, which okay, total aside, but um so on the Magneto thing, on the Magneto and Scarlet Witch thing, in House of M, there is a moment where they're actually like trying to capture Nocturne. They're like, this is when she was in 616. They're like hunting her, and the reason they're hunting her is because she has Magnus DNA. So tell me, Marvel, how could Nocturne have Magnus DNA if Wanda is not Magneto's child? That's it.
T
Done.
caught in 4K Marvel. Take the picture.
Judge Lisa speaks, guys. It's over. It's done.
Oh my god, she's back. Ugh, Judge
I
Lisa, we've missed you so much.
I know I'm back. I was on a vacation, but here I am. And it's just over. It's done. It's been said. It is official. Wanda is Magneto's child, and so is Pietro. And of course, Wanda's the
It is
favorite.
law.
Pietro, no one cares about, but whatever. Anyway, going back to Nightcrawlers. So this baby is born, and it's half Wagnerine, half I forget what was it, Summer Crawler. I don't know, but that was the Scott Summers one, the Cyclops one, and the baby is like bright orange and glows, and then it disappears because I guess it teleports away, which is something I've read in fan fiction, which I think is kind of funny because I've definitely read fan fiction that involves like either Kurt as a baby or like a baby of Kurt's that like teleports
Yeah.
away, and they're all like, what do we do? Where do we go? How do we find it? So yeah, that I thought was kind of funny because it's definitely a trope that I've read
Yeah.
in
I
fan
mean,
fiction.
they did that on Charmed, the TV show, the old one.
Oh,
I'm a
did
big
they?
fan of that. Basically, like so with Piper and Leo, so Leo's a white lighter and he teleports essentially. So when they have kids, the kid will be in their arms, the baby, and then they just go whoop, teleport somewhere else, and they're like, what the hell? It's
Oh my
great.
god, that is so stressful. I would hate that. I mean, a teleporting baby is the worst thing I've ever heard of in my life. But I so yeah, so the baby's gone, and basically they kind of give they honestly they gave up on that baby quick because she was like, it's gone, and I'm like, what? Did you look? Did you look anywhere? Because they literally because I mean maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. And maybe it wasn't intended to be a teleportation signature. Maybe they thought the baby blew up in her arms, which is just fucking.
I shouldn't be
I'm
laughing, but like it's just so absurd.
Yes. So it's like, so I took it as the baby teleported away. And so it's like, guys, open a closet. Just, check the fridge. I mean, it's where, how far is this baby going to go? Honestly, like how far can you guys go? So how far do you think the baby went? It's okay. So, but the baby, so they consider the baby dead. So then, during all this, like Nightcrawler shows up and he's horribly monstrous and still no dick, guys. Unfortunately,
I would like to forget that image. It is one of
yes,
the worst images I've ever seen in comic, and that's saying a lot because there's a lot of horrible images in comics. Like, and again, like reasonably in terms of it goes with the plot and it's like a horror comic or something. Like, there's some really, really terrifying images in comics, but for me, I can't look at that page. It really freaking hurts my soul. I can't do it.
I mean, girl, there's a whole panel about Alex peeing on Bobby. So there are horrible things out there. And that's in the
Yeah,
Draco, which
and
I'm going to
this
end up reading.
and that image in Nightcrawler is worse to me than that. I could look at
Yes,
that. I would hate it, but I could look at that over that image.
totally agree. Don't love big beastly Kurt. But then they murder him, and
Hate that. I'm
yeah,
out.
I mean, like, listen, my whole thing was like, oh, thank God, like, just I don't want him on my screen anymore or on my page anymore. So like, good, okay, good, he's dead now. He can like now be in heaven with whatever whoever's there.
I mean,
So
honestly, true. Get him out of that misery because fuck's sake.
exactly. So basically, he's killed, but before he's killed, he mentions that to Mother Righteous is like, you're not using the spark correctly or something in his
Yeah.
monster voice, and so now then it's brought to the attention of Wagnerine that like her baby's not dead. Her babies are like
What a concept. Oh my god, look, we found your baby in the fridge or some shit.
yeah, exactly. Oh my god, he was actually in the back of my Toyota. Like I opened up the hatchback of my Tercel and your baby was just there. I mean, could you just keep a better eye on your freaking baby? So, so what happens is yeah, she's told that the baby's still alive, so and that Mother Righteous basically has it. And so Mother Righteous has now turned the baby into like this part of this cause of their religion, like this centerpiece of their religion, which that I also did not understand. Like I didn't understand how the baby was centered in the religion. I didn't it just
It's a miracle baby, so therefore it's a Jesus baby, apparently. I got
yeah.
nothing else
I
there.
mean, I
Like,
get that. I get the whole Jesus thing, but like it no, well, I mean, it's I guess it's not really Jesus because it wasn't a virgin birth. It was just like a surprise birth. But whatever. I don't understand how the baby like it, so yeah, that was just not clear to me, but at the same time, whatever, let's move on. So the baby is now Wagnerine knows the baby is there and so then basically we then skip forward 1,000 years now, and for some reason everybody's still alive. It's the same goddamn cast. I, I don't get that
yeah,
either. Like,
I don't either.
well, so apparently Auntie Fortune, who's like the Domino one, I don't think she's alive. I think she's like a hologram or some kind of specter.
Oh, well, I guess she's anti-fortune, so she's not lucky like Domino, right? Because I was about to be like, if she's a clone of Domino, shouldn't she be the one living? Like,
Well, I think that the thing with Domino is I don't think Domino is immortal. You know, like I think Domino can't die by accident, but I'm sure old age will take her eventually.
well, yeah, but she has luck, so she's by default she's more likely to survive than the others, in my opinion.
Yeah, but
Other than maybe
1,000 years, girl.
Wagnerine.
A
I mean,
thousand years.
but how are these other ones? How is Cyclops
Well,
Nightcrawler thing surviving a
no,
thousand
Cyclops
years?
Cyclops was dead in year 100. That's when he killed himself, remember? And
Oh,
then
well, no, see, because I didn't get that far, so
there you go.
R.I.P.
So
Sorry, bro.
it's okay. So the only Nightcrawlers the only characters that really still exist are it's Wagnerine, which okay, I mean she's a Wolverine character. So and then for some reason Banshee is still around. I mean, what is him sharing his soul or something with something else? Like, is that making him older at like able to survive? But like 1,000 years is a long time to survive. So and Mother Righteous, of course, is still around. Of course, we find out Mother Righteous is actually a Sinister clone. She goes and kills one of the other ones. It's just, it's whatever. I'm just going to get to the end of this at this point. The baby's still alive. Mother Righteous is going to reset everything with the Moira, but in order to do it, she needs to sacrifice the baby, which for some reason, 1,000 years later, is still a baby, but can talk.
Nope, doesn't make sense. I feel like I'm watching or I'm listening to like a bad like 70s sci-fi that tried too hard and yet somehow not hard enough. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, there's a phoenix egg involved. Like she has a phoenix egg. It yeah, but before she can do everything, like Wagnerine of course shows up, is like, you killed my baby, you tried to kill my baby. And yeah, stops the whole thing. And you know what? I don't even really remember how it ended, honestly.
I mean, Mother Righteous like gets out somewhere somehow at some point. Like
Oh
she's
yeah.
currently if you guys don't know, I just recently read Immortal X-Men 11, which came out I think 2 weeks ago or so. I don't know, I've been behind but I caught up on him. And spoiler alert for that, because I doubt we'll talk about it on here unless somebody demands it. If you guys do, then, but it's a Storm focus issue. And essentially, you guys, if you listen to the Sons of X episode, you remember how we were like, yes, in this issue, Kurt gave Storm his vote. Well, guess what? And in Immortal X-Men 11, while Mother Righteous is running around and acting like she's helping the X-Men, because if I remember correctly, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they know she's a Sinister clone. So Storm leaves, basically. She doesn't fully leave the council, but she realizes she's being pulled between two worlds. And so she goes to someone in particular that's on the council and says, hey, so I'm being torn between two worlds. I'll be here where I can, but when I'm not here and I'm with Araco, I want you to have my voice and vote for me. Are you cool with that? And it's Colossus. So now Colossus has 3 votes total, essentially. And I hate it here. Mother Righteous is running around. That's where we are, folks.
Yeah, we're not in a good place. I mean, I guess that's why they call it Fall of X, right? Because, I mean, it's nothing good's going to come of this.
Nope, it's all falling down. I hope that Kurt gets back up soon. But I need, no offense, but I need Spurrier to get away from writing him. Please stop writing him. Write other things. I hear he's great with other things. Please.
I have some optimism about Uncanny Spider-Man. I honestly do. So let's not throw it all away yet. I think I have a good feeling.
I'm hoping, Lisa, but listen, Way of X, I said, all right, wasn't perfect, but was decent. Gave Legion X a shot. Now that I am on my wits' end, and I know other people are, but I'm still gonna give it a shot. I have hope. Maybe adding some Spider-Verse world stuff with Kurt will lift him back up a bit. Who knows?
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Let's just, it's coming. No matter what happens, it's coming. So we're gonna have to deal with it one way or the other. But I wanted to point out a couple things in here. So first of all, talking about Nocturne. Did you notice that thing called the Chamber Nocturne?
No, but I believe you.
I was unsure of what the frick it really was, but it was like a bunch of chambers. It's just a bunch of chambers. So like chamber, like the character chamber, not like chambers in a gun or chambers in like a house or something. So it was a bunch of chambers. I didn't understand it, but when I saw the word Nocturne in Nightcrawler's book, I was like, God damn you, Marvel. Why do you do this to me all the time? All the time. Why do you do this to me? The other thing too is like the whole like pregnancy thing and like your child has been taken. It's, and you're searching for your child. Did anyone else read Age of X-Men, Amazing Nightcrawler? Because it sounds like Cy Spurrier did. Because like it's a very similar story that's told there, that's told here, and it was only a couple years ago. So for me, it was like really hard not to see the parallels between that. Mm-hmm. And the other parallels and the other thing I want to point out is like, so clearly his need to procreate is genetic because his mother has a lot of kids and his clones are having kids they can't even have. So, yeah. So, and his father had like thousands of kids if that you believe that's his father.
But he doesn't get to have actual canon and continuity children.
He will.
Marvel, we're coming for you.
Exactly. So the other thing I really found interesting was doesn't anyone else remember Here Comes Tomorrow by Grant Morrison, like his last arc on New X-Men? Because the whole point of it was about like these cloned Nightcrawler hybrids and who were called Crawlers. And I'm trying to remember, I should have written it down because I looked back at the issue and I was like, so they were like, it was like there was a Cyclops one, there was I think an Angel one, I think I don't know, I'm gonna look it up while I'm talking. But they were different like chimeras basically in this story. Oh, there was a multiple man one. Okay, so there was where the hell is it? Okay, so yeah, it's multiple man, Cyclops, and Angel mixed with Nightcrawler, basically. So, but they were like villains. They were like pests. And I'm trying to remember. And the other thing was like the whole Phoenix Egg was a thing in that exact same arc as well. So it's just for me, there's so many like parallels that are just is this paying homage or what is this? Because it's not clear to me. But anyway, I mean, we read it, guys. We did it.
We got through it. So whatever you hoped to get out of this, I hope you did, because I'm just confused. But hey, it seems like it's something that we're allowed to forget because they're not doing too much with it other than whatever the hell they're doing with Mother Righteous. And Kurt is getting a break from the X-Men, which I think we can all agree on some level that a break from the X-Men isn't a bad idea. Is this the break he needs though? Like, that's completely up for debate. But I think definitely getting a break, getting some time for him, still having his own spotlight, hopefully away from all this other extra cast in terms of Legion of X and stuff, because cool to see other characters, but my goodness, Kurt he needs some him time, I think, y'all. Like that's where I'm at.
Totally agree. Give me 2 seconds. I have something in the oven and it smells like it's burning. Just give me 1 second. Yes, okay. Nightcrawlers. Done.
Yep, we're done. I feel really great about being done with that. I can tell you guys that.
Yes. Moving on.
And I'm very hopeful for Kurt, because if that's the worst of Kurt we have to see for a long while, I'm ready to move on. I'm good. Let's just go.
Let's do it. Let's see our Uncanny Spider-Man coming out, and yeah. So let's onward to bigger and better things.
Ooh, I got it. Fall of X, but Rise of Kurt. Let's go.
Ooh, I like that.
Manifesting it.
I like that. Fall of X, Rise of Kurt, #. Perfect.
New t-shirt coming your way. Tank top is getting hot.
There it is, right there with "Hey baby, show me your spark." Thanks again, everybody, for coming and joining us for this fabulous episode. Thanks also for the suggestion. If you have any suggestions for us, always let us know. If you want to come on and talk to us, totally let us know. We love having people on. Lately, our schedule has been so crazy, we haven't been able to coordinate things, but please let us know. We would love to have you. Lauren, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at friendlymBHDBI, and you can find my indie comics show's Twitter at MBHD Comic Show in case you want to get more involved in that. That's pretty much it.
Awesome. Yeah, and you can find all of our socials at simplyamazingpod.com. We've got Twitter, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got everything. I'll be doing a Twitch, probably. I mean, the poll is going to end soon, but by the time this comes up, I'm almost positive the poll will say that, yes, I will be doing a Twitch where we read the Draco. So we'll be posting that on our Twitter once we figure out when it's happening, because I'm going to be, at this moment right now that you are listening to this, I am in Bermuda on a cruise. So fun times. I will be home right a couple days after that, and I'll be able to figure that out. So yeah, follow around. Again, it's simplyamazingpod.com. You can find all that information. And if you are like me and for some reason your mind is racing around and you can't for some reason keep one thought at one time, just remember you're also simply amazing.